Today is the 15th of October, 2024, and we're going to be looking at a few instruments backed by the dollar, the USD index. We would be focusing on what has been happening this month for October from the 4 hours time frame, and of course, we'll drop down to the 1 hour time frame to understand what's happening this week and maybe even the 30 minutes time frame for potential entry. Now, it's always good for us to understand the story of what price is doing because it's all about the story of price. And that's why we keep on hearing price action. So when you hear price action, just know it's the behavior, it's the trend, it's the story of price. So from this USD index 4 hours time frame, which happens to be obviously the uh, dollar index, right? And of course, we focus on the dollar index because most of the instruments that we pay attention to are dollar denominated. Those are like the major currency pairs, even gold and maybe Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't really follow the structure, the dynamics of the USD, if you ask me. But hey, it's BTC USD for a reason. So, first of all, let's look at this USD index from the 4 hour time frame based on what has been happening this month. And as I said earlier, it's the 15th of October, which is more or less 2 weeks. So we have 2 more weeks. So here is the beginning of October from the 4 hours time frame. Don't forget 4 hours time frame. We will still drop to 1 hour as well to see what's happening further. Right. So price started from here, and if you look very well, it has more or less been a straight bullish run up to this point here where it is now. We've been having a bit of pullbacks here, as you can see. When you look at price moving higher, it tends to pull back and then it gives us this area of resistance. And then when it goes back there, it could break and then act as support, and then you keep on having movements like this. So that's what we've been having here so far, so good on the dollar index. So all of this tends to give off areas of interest where we're expecting price to possibly in the nearest of times pull back to, right? So keep that in mind. So we've already marked the areas here using these rectangles, which are key. Uh, when you look to the left-hand side, you'd always see some, history. You'd always see things that price has done in the past that could easily give you that much needed confidence, right? So this is the 4 hours time frame, USD index. And to summarize this, we've had a massive bullish run. So that simply means that the buyers are in control here. And if you want to follow as a trend trader, then you should be looking forward to the USD index pulling back at least to this area, right, of interest. Look for possible buy positions to take it back up to the highs here. Assuming this is the high here, because we have to wait for a turnaround like this in order to conclude that this is a high and then call it a resistance. So this is from the 4 hours time frame. If we quickly clean this up and then just pop quickly to the 1 hour time frame, still on the dollar index, then we should be able to see some minor areas of former resistance that more or less seems to be acting as support, but it's still minor. And don't forget, we said from the 4 hours time frame for this month of October, we have some key areas on these rectangles here that we would like price to come back to. So don't be surprised if we have, well, if it gets to this highs here, right, then I might probably be looking at a form of divergence in this manner. You could also add your uh, MACD or RSI, whatever one you are comfortable with. You could have like a wedge in this manner, right, with your divergence. giving opportunities to the counter trend traders to sell the USD index. Whenever you look at a chart, there are always two plays, which is one for buying and then the other one for selling. Whether the trend is an uptrend or it's a downtrend, there are always two plays in the market. And that's why you need to determine whether you are a trend trader or a counter trend trader. So this is what we have here based on this 1 hour time frame. Depending on what the price does, it might push higher and then the counter trend traders might come in. Now, I would also like to see something where we have a sort of pattern like this, and then it drops test here, pushes back, and then drops even more. If this is the case, I would like to uh, get a possible entry around here. If you look very well, this could easily be a left shoulder, head, and then a right shoulder. In another formation, in another structure in this area, you could easily have what is called a QM, Quasimodo price pattern. You can read up on Quasimodo online. You would understand the structure where you have something like this. It's pretty similar to the head and shoulders, by the way, but one major difference is that when it drops past here, these levels, and then comes back here to retest for a possible entry and then drop further. But whatever structure we are going to have pattern, whether it's Quasimodo or head and shoulders, just pay attention to this area from the hourly time frame. And this USD index, this USD index would help us to understand better what's happening on the Euro USD because it's always on a reverse movement. Like on the USD index we just talked about, remember it was bullish, but you can see Euro USD from the start of October 1, which is here, you can see it has just been a down movement. So that means that if you're going to be looking for potential buy, right, that means you're going to be a CT trader. Sorry, my hand might not be that straight, but you will probably get the gist. Based on this point and this point here, you will have price push further down, give you some form of price action, candlestick pattern. It could be a hammer, also known as pin bar. It could be an engulfing or whatever doji. It could be inside bar that could give you that trigger here. And of course, if you want to have like a discounted entry or you want to see things a bit better, that's when you decide to like drop down to the lower time frames, right? Dropping out to the lower time frames, you should also be able to see something here of significance where this happened to be a resistance. And if we draw further down, then you could also see something that's happening here. This one, it breached here, but then you can see as it's dropping lower, you could easily call this another area here of support. So once price gets to this point here, look for possible price action patterns for buying. And then don't forget you are going against this trend, this move. So if that is the case, then you are more or less looking for counter trend opportunities. There are opportunities in the market. You have to understand the story, know the areas of interest, know how the price reacts to the areas of interest, and then also know how the trigger you're looking for in order to enter. It could be anything. Now, I would advise not just anything, everything that you see, make use of it. It could be divergence, it could be price action, candlestick patterns, whether you're using moving averages, whether you're using MACD, Bollinger Band, whatever the case might be, add everything. Let it give you a clean, clear story and then jump in. For me, I like my charts pretty clean, right? That's how I have been trading for years, and that's what has been working for me so far. And I am not ready to change that, right? So whatever you are using, keep on using it, but just make sure that the whole story based on the direction, number one, is it moving downwards? Is it moving upwards? And then what you want to do. Do you want to go with that trend or go against the trend? Now, before we wrap up this video where we have been talking about the USD index and of course the Euro USD, since they tend to move in opposite directions, I'm just going to show you this quickly, and that is the gold. You could call this bonus or whatever, I'm paying attention to this, and I would like to hopefully get an entry maybe today, right? You can see we have some form of support, some resistance, some resistance, and then some resistance, some more over here. And you can see we have another one here, some form of resistance acting as support. So that simply means that here would be a good area for take profit if you decide to sell at this area of resistance. Understand what is happening in the market, understand the overall direction, whether you're looking at it from the whole chart or you're looking at it from just October, right? Some traders tend to look at the market based on the entire information that they have on the chart, or maybe based on the month, or based on the week, or even based on the daily's information. The daily's information, obviously, it means that you are looking at it from the scalping perspective, right? So determine the type of trader that you are. So from the 1 hour time frame, this is what I would like to see, right? And of course, I would always update this based on what happens. I'd like to see a quick pullback to this area here. You can see some areas here of interest. Some could call this like a minor area, but this minor area is still within that 4 hours area. And that's why I actually like this one a lot. So hopefully we get a pullback to this area, and then we have some price action, candlestick patterns or trigger or whatever, and then we sell back to this point here from about 2,650 to about 2,600. That's, I believe, thereabout. It's about 500 pips. So this will be good for 500 pips. Entry here, stop loss just above these guys here, maybe 50 pips or 50 to 100 pips. So you should have about 5 to 10 rewards. So this would be well worth the trade. As I said, I would update this based on the outcome at the end of the day. And as I'll be rounding up, don't forget for your calendar, always good to check the news, find out what's happening. Yesterday we had Thanksgiving in the US and Canada, so we didn't have any high impact news. As a matter of fact, if you go over here, it gives us the information for the day. This is today, Tuesday. Go back, and then you will see non-economic for CAD, USD celebrating Thanksgiving Day. And we had that for Japan, JPY. They were celebrating Health Sports Day. So yesterday, obviously, we didn't have true volatility in the market. But today, calendar rather. So for today, we have some high impact news, but none for the USD. So do not be surprised also if the USD index is a bit sluggish today, but always expect the unexpected in the market. We have USD only Thursday, high impact news on Thursday, which happens to be the retail sales, 1:30 p.m. UK time, right? So pay attention to the timing as well. And of course, you will be able to adjust your trading accordingly. Now, with that said, I want to say thank you for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And give us your own analysis, your own thought process. You can comment in the section below and let's know what you think. No man is an island, and not every trade is going to be a winner at the end of the day. So let's hear your own thought process and let's try to take advantage of the market together. Okay, guys, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day and trade safely. Cheers.